showtime.
When I say showtime, on here just running late.
At the Apollo.
I'm out here just running late like I'm a Steeler safety.
Hey, at least at least you wasn't self promoting on a hot mic. you know, you're like,
Oh,
you're
how
just
you
gonna
feeling
keep
today,
talking,
brother?
aren't you? I'm like, oh,
Hey, I got. I'm gonna test something real quick before we get started. We got um Steelers season. We feel can we already 7 weeks in? Can you hear that?
I can't hear it.
No, okay. I thought I had. I found some sound effects here. I was going to use some sound effects, but
Oh, you was
obviously,
ready to? Yeah, 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 yeah. I
so
know what you're talking
obviously,
about. Hmm.
I'm not doing shit because they don't work. All right. Well, hey, we're obviously here with an uncomfortable slash hard conversation here. Kind of, I was hitting towards some of it last week. You know, we were talking about some of this at the end of last year,
Hmm.
and there's just going to be some uncomfortable things here being said. I know from my part, and I know you got some feelings about this too, GB. We'd love to hear from everybody as well in the chat. Have this be a vent session, if you will. We are your Steelers therapists, you know. But before we get to that topic, we got a signing, Mr. Valdez Scantling,
Championship.
championship. Which, all things consider, with the defense, it is something that is needed. By the way, a opposite of DK, just to give them some sort of additional weapon. Although Roman Wilson continues to at least show himself when he's given the chance. So kudos to Roman Wilson. We might have something here. That'd be
Calvin
more of
was
a
resting
next year
too.
season. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. Before we get into it, so we let some people pile in here because, like, they have some people here. Here's some of the opening thoughts from myself and from you. Um,
I'll start with this. Okay.
okay, I was gonna think of something, but go ahead.
I got something. And we ain't gonna get into the topic, but I'm gonna go with this. So as a coach, at the beginning of the season, you have like coaches meetings, a parent meeting, and one of the rules that I had as a coach for us to have an understanding and have clear, concise communication was if you were angry as a parent, right, about whatever during the game, right, give it 24 hours. And if you feel the same way in 24 hours, then give me a call. I'll be more than happy to talk about it.
That's correct.
So I heeded my own advice. I only ranted one time on Twitter and just said embarrassing because, well, it was that. But then I took 24 hours, and we'll leave it at that. I kind of heeded my own advice, you know.
Yeah,
So
I definitely.
I'll come off of it. Won't be emotion. It'll be after further evaluation and everything. So it won't
Yeah,
it'll be what it is.
absolutely. Mark, welcome back again, man. You definitely are correct. All franchise go through this. Unfortunately, it does suck when it's our turn. We'll definitely get into some more thoughts as well. Uncle Larry, yeah, defense putting a burden on his team. You are correct. Last year it was the offense. This year it's the team. I never thought I would actually see, especially this year. One thing I did not suspect is having the 32nd ranked pass defense is something I
No,
never thought would happen.
no.
And
Absolutely
again,
not.
outside of maybe like week 2 or week 3, if you have one blunder of a game that kind of bloviates the statistics one way or another, being good or being bad. So I too feel a little bit different than I did late Sunday night. Um, I was going full on Yinzer on Sunday night,
As we all do.
as we all do, and I understandably understand 100% some of the fans and what they were feeling.
Yeah.
But what I'm about to say and what I'm about to talk about tonight, I want to make something perfectly clear to everybody, just so nobody accuses me of doing any type of flopping or any type of anything else.
Oh, he got his all black on too.
Hey, I got his airness on too, bro. This is Jordan. Jordan's on.
I thought you had on your funeral shrouds.
Hey, it's still happy hour, brother. I'm good, man. I'm good. Um, I'd say this: I am not anybody who's interacted with me prior, has followed the channel, knows me personally, or just seen me in passing and such. I'm not walking anything I said about Mike Tomlin back at all. I said what I said, to use your line, GB. I believe in what I said, what I believe in what he has done for this franchise. I've always said that he gets treated unfairly in a sense where he gets blamed for everything. I mean, everything.
Hmm.
To the point now, there's this Facebook post that I saw about comparing Cowher versus Tomlin. Dude, like 95% of them are saying Cowher is a better coach, not even close. And I'm going to get into that too, because if you remember, I actually did a 15 versus 15-year comparison of the two. My
You
stance
went
is
deep
they're
in the
exactly the
notes.
same coach. Some are better in other areas than others, right? And I'm going to prove that to everybody, because now I'm actually going to go back and rehash that research, and we're going to present that here in the next week or two here on the Bird Cave. And we're going to let everybody weigh in with the whole Cowher versus Tomlin thing,
Hmm.
because it's you get the recency bias, but it's also the recency hatred, if you will,
Yeah.
with Mike Tomlin for getting a lot of the shortcomings from Bill Cowher. But I'm not here to poo-poo on Cowher or anything like that, because that being said, like I said, the end of last year with that collapse, you and I we were on the fire Tomlin bus. We didn't sit down, we didn't hold the pole to get comfortable on the bus. We were on there for a little bit, but I think you and I got off at the next stop after we came to some realization. There goes that stupid thumbs up again. um, in the beginning of this year, I also said, with the talent that's on this team, health
Yeah.
withstanding, if they do not win a playoff game, I think changes do need to be made with all this talent, because they're all in. Whether any of us as fans agree with the moves that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made this offseason, they're going all in. And they're
Yeah.
continuing by adding Valdez Scantling here today. They're 4-3, still in first place, even though they look like trash right now. So this proverbial playoff win is not impossible. It just looks impossible right now, but it's not impossible. But you know what? I am now more comfortable on this bus if things do not change, where I will be in favor of moving on from Mike Tomlin. All good things must come to an end. But what are your thoughts of, and I want you to weigh in like with an opening thought, because there's all of this, get rid of him now. Last year, the Steelers made a move and getting rid of Matt Canada
You see my
because of the
face?
putrid offensive performance. Now it's the same on the defense, and Austin is in the last year of his contract,
Hmm.
and we know that the Roonies do not like paying coaches while they're on the couch.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
So because they're very cheap, and we heard that from Mr. Charlie Batch. So GB, what is your now 24-hour reaction? Mine is, I'm getting more comfortable on getting rid of Tomlin, but I'm not doing it in the middle of the season.
Can I be honest with you? Um, I was angry about that game for about 3.5 seconds, right? I
Mm-hmm.
really was. And then I kind of got over it because I still look at it as the long game. I mean, people can be all emotional and shit. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. You have every right to be. I just think differently. They don't call me the uppity yinzer for no reason, right? I take it this is a binary system. I say it every single week. That loss did not give us seven. It gave us one, right? And I literally take it game by game. So I don't really get too high and I don't get too low, right? So that's the coach in me, right?
Yeah,
The fan in me is like, all right, it's time for y'all to shit or get off the pot because um we are supposed to be all in, and these hired mercenaries look like hired thieves right now. They are absolutely just taking the bag, and there's no performance to back it up, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Let's
yeah,
call it what it is, okay?
yeah,
And let's also say, you pull the tapes, we were very much uh, questioning. At least the Uppity Yinzer was questioning uh, number 90, and was it worth it to do that contract? Right? We were talking about that for a long time because the concern was what's happening right now. We were worried about whether it was going to pay him for past performance as opposed to future. And well, you take a look at it, it's looking like it's based off of past performance right now. None of them look good at
no,
this point.
no,
None of them. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you mix up Herbig with Watt or Highsmith with Herbig or Watt with Herbig or whatever. It don't matter. Okay, this doesn't matter. This is a y'all need to come to Jesus and figure this the fuck out because um this is not the way this is supposed to work out. And you have to be better at taking it game by game because you can lose the opportunity. Now here's the go ahead. I'll stop it. I'll stop right there because I could go for another hour and a half. I could do a whole TED talk on it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
really could, but I'm gonna
yeah.
cut
You
it
know
right
what?
there.
Like, you might be right, like, because also, Lamar might be coming back on Thursday, and they were able to beat the Bears. Because right now at 2-5, the Ravens are again favored to win the division, which is, I get it, but because they have the most talent, I get it, but that's still pretty it's pretty bold, if you will.
That's
So my
awfully bold.
issues, my issues though, what I said last week, and they keep rearing their ugly head, is it's communication. It's
So
communication.
bad, dude. So
It
freaking
is so
bad.
bad because at times you have players that seemingly are doing their own thing. And I'll pull this up here real quick, because obviously we're going to listen to players. And let me
Hmm.
see if I had this up here. Make sure I had. I thought I bookmarked it. Okay, I did not bookmark it, so I'm not going to pull it up because I don't want to miss.
I
But
was gonna say while you were
Trey
working,
Essex, pull,
I was gonna say while
Trey
you
Essex
working,
actually.
Troy Polamalu. None of them are Troy Polamalu. They can't be
No,
doing their own shit. Go
no,
ahead.
no,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because he showed a Thornhill buzz into the flat, and there was nobody there. And Love had thrown the ball over his head like on like a 20-yard out, and then they got a completion. Like you're just doing your own thing. So that right there is not necessarily coaching, because I guarantee you they're not telling them to do that unless that's the coverage. But whenever the offense doesn't show that, you have different rules to go back and cover different areas of the field. It's like,
That's
you know
it.
what, I'm going to go there no matter what. And that's part of, like, I can tell somebody all day what to do, coach them what to do. But if they go out and do their own thing, they go out and do their own thing.
It's an if then thing,
Yes. Yes.
right?
If then. But real
Yes.
quick on this, though, I just wanted to bring that first to bring this up. The miscommunication, it just continues to be an absolute issue. The soft zone coverages. How many times have you seen them just rush four, and they're just in a basic soft zone, a cover three or a cover two, and it's just like TJ, Cam, Benton, and Highsmith, just go beat your man. They can't do that on a a snap in and snap out basis. What happened to the Fire X's as an example, right? The first half of the game last night, they weren't manning up and putting some pressure on. No, they weren't sacking them. It affected some throws, and it was effective. Then they just go back into the soft zone, and Cincinnati. I mean, the completion percentage of Love and of Flacco these last two games makes me think I could go out there and throw for at least 250 at 49 years old. I don't understand the schematics.
I can tell
I
you.
really don't.
I can tell you why, because this is gonna sound very. I'm a very much a yeah. The coaching is bad. I'm not going to.
Yes,
I'm not
100%.
gonna. But if you have a 4-man rush, and the names are Watt, Highsmith, or Herbig, Cam, right, Harmon, or whatever, as a coach, you expect them to be able to put some pressure on because of who they are, right? That's the issue, y'all. I mean, coaching notwithstanding, the issue right now is flat out lack of execution. Not because of the talent. These dudes are fat and happy right now. At the end of the day, they go home, they still get in their bag. I don't tell you, I don't care what they say, they're still going to get in their bag, right? And that's the
Yeah.
reality. Like they're not. They're not they're not dialed in yet. And that's the
No.
easiest way to you. I mean, we can blame and complain this that because I get. I'm because at this I'm still gonna die on the we are going through the Super Bowl hill. I'm going to die on the hill. Okay, because I believe. Mark it down. What time is it? 16, 17 minutes. Mark it down. I ain't done with this team yet. Y'all can kiss my ass,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Listen, I understand. Mercenaries have a tendency to when the game gets higher, they have a tendency to turn the heat up. This could totally flop, okay? But historically speaking, these type of dudes when they bring these type of guys in that have Super Bowl experience already, and they bring them in with an already a talented group. When that happens over time, when it finally comes to fruit, when it finally comes together, it can still be something that's going to be dangerous. The only thing that really, really, really can thwart that is Deshaun Elliott. I didn't see that one happening. And did we even get uh, a report on him? We got one for Equali, but not Elliott. So I'm guessing they're trying to get as many opinions
Probably
as
get
they
as many
can.
opinions on it, but my guess is,
Yeah,
especially if it's the that one, I think he hurt his knee earlier as well. To the same one, to me, he looks done.
I think he
Unfortunately.
either that or he got the most incredible ligaments on the
Hmm.
planet.
Yeah.
I mean, it
No,
wasn't
it's
scatterboo bad, but it looked
yeah.
Jesus,
But you're right though about what I mean. There's times he needs to beat his man.
Jesus.
There's no doubt. However, there's also times where you need to scheme some things open. Now, he hasn't moved around as much as I thought they were, even though they are a little bit.
But here's the crazy part:
But
we've been sending blitzes. They've been getting picked up. That's because
yeah,
dudes ain't miss. They're not beating their men 1-on-1. It's not. Last two games, it's not happening. I don't know what
hmm
happened when they came back from Ireland. I don't know because the Browns are the Browns. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. But the I the fire is not there right now on the defensive side. They don't even look interested. They don't even look interested in tackling right now, bro.
no, and Cam was saying this. It's also again we're compounding the communication. We're compounding Cam's comments, and I'm paraphrasing, and everybody knows what I'm probably talking about. He's just saying that the effort wasn't there, and I don't understand that at all. Part of that is here's where I can say. I mean, you saw Darius Slay kind of half-assed it against that receiver from Green Bay on that second
Business
touchdown.
decisions.
Business decisions. Part of it you can say if you're looking at a coaching aspect. Part of it you can say is it's a little bit too comfy of an environment because of the veterans, right? That
True.
you need to hold these veterans as accountable as a second and third round pick rookie or first year guy. The other part of it is that's just individuals. He signed a 1 year deal, probably just to for his last year to play ball, right? And now he's just here, just hanging out,
Mm.
right? And I don't like it. That needs to be held accountable. That accountability needs to be held in the locker room. That's a
Now,
player's accountability,
can
not
I?
necessarily just a coach's
I was gonna
accountability.
say, let me add to that too. To whoever is working the secondary, cannot remember the guy doesn't the name for escapes me, but if Brandon Eccles and Corey Trice don't get some opportunity, yeah, I think we already see that Darius Slade. I mean, we've seen this from game one that he's gonna like he should be on limited reps. Some of these dudes need to their distribution of labor needs to be a little bit less. You got to have some trust in some of these other guys, because some of the guys that you brought in, like Darius Slay, love the dude. He'll make a play from time to time, but he's not consistent enough, right? He's no longer big play Darius Slay. He just plain old Jag, just the guy, Darius Slay. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah,
Eccles has shown some more flash than he has, and he's shown more consistency. So why don't you give him some more of the reps? I mean, that's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, like you still have ego, and if your reps get taken as a player, especially as a player who is used to starting and used to being like an all pro, if you take somebody's reps away, listen, they're gonna start. You know how that you know how competition happens, and I think that's a problem. I think right now, a lot of them dudes are fat and happy and comfortable. They don't really they got their spots, and then that's pretty much it.
100%. So this is one that I wanted to show everybody when you're talking about doing their own thing. And this, unfortunately, is Deshaun Elliott. So shout out to Steelers DB here. Derek is Steelers DB for an awesome Twitter account. It's a great follow. He's posts a lot of great content. You know what? I think it's what we got to do, GB. We got to figure out how to get the membership to the All 22 so we can do some really breakdowns. We can pick our own plays and stuff like that, right? So Deshaun Elliott,
hmm I don't know what that is.
where are you going, bro?
I don't know what that is.
This is Deshaun Elliott. Like
I
this
don't
is
know what
something
that.
else. Like this, I have a hard time believing that this is coached.
Again,
This
um,
is like doing your own thing.
you ain't Palomalu, sir.
Like, what are you now? Unless if he's blitzing, or you're really at the
He's way
snap of
too
the
far.
ball,
That's what I'm
you're
saying. He's way too far
12 yards
back.
off the ball.
And that's what I'm going to assume, because if you look, they're in man coverage, right?
Yeah,
So you got Queens taking the tight end, right? Who's that? JPJ over there taking the guy.
JP's
So
right
he's
here. Yeah.
free. He's free. He's just way too far freaking back, trying to disguise it. But that's terrible. Play. You don't got that type of speed, sir. That ain't it. And now you got and it's perfect execution, like as if they knew what we were going to do. Perfect execution. It's a perfect play on an offensive side. You get get them caught up in traffic, easy peasy. You know what
Yep.
I
And
mean?
this is
Like
another thing that why you're not seeing Watt or anybody else effective. How quick he's got the ball away.
what was the Flacco was 2.63 seconds. What was Jordan Love's? Because he was getting it out faster than what he usually does. Because he's usually one that likes to hold on to it, and that's the part that
Right.
really that's the part that really surprised me.
And by the way, Porter, Porter Senior's going to have a talk with him. What is that?
That's not
That's bad.
that's not uh that's not Porter
By the way,
esque.
okay, so you
That
see this pursuit to the ball. By the way, when you watch when we're on with JJ, we talk about Pitt, and you see the way Pitt just pursues to the football.
flies to the
They
football.
fly to the football. This is
Fly.
kind of like just hanging out, running around, and just I don't know. I am honestly speechless.
I told my son, you want to learn how to play middle linebacker? Watch Pitt football, man. Them boys fly to the ball.
Yeah,
Fly. I don't know what they do. This is not flying to the football.
no.
This is
There's
getting
another
caught up
one.
in wash and just not looking good at all.
think I have my bookmarks here. This is another one. This is the sleigh. Look, watch this.
Damn. 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 Damn.
And that's what I'm talking about in a sense of, these.
Mm.
I don't know, man.
We got 10 games to figure
Before we
it
get out
out.
of here, AJ,
Hold on.
I think this big.
Okay. Yeah.
You would think that with the length that they have, Adam, that
Yeah.
that would be, you know, easy peasy. But they might, hey, they may be afraid because JPJ keep getting he JPJ we whisper sweet nothings in somebody's ear. They like, it's
When he could
bad,
have had a lot
man.
of boom and a rookie out of bounds. Yep.
It's
100%. And
bad,
I do
Mike.
think he is, Mike, you're right. I do think Slay's making a lot of business decisions. It's really only hurting the team.
Any relation to Terry, Mike?
But yeah, the way that the secondary is playing, it's just like, I don't want to say disinterested, but if you're also playing slow and you're saying communication problems, they're confused. I don't think the communication problems are not this hard. I don't believe.
Yeah.
They're to the point where, like I said last week with the Bengals, they know the game plan, but as soon as a wrinkle is thrown at them, the communication issue just start. They have problems when you're motioning across the set. They don't know who to pick up. They're constantly pointing and doing things, and it's just that's a lack of preparation, and that's going to be more on Austin than it is with Tomlin. Tomlin deserves some of that blame. Don't get me wrong, but the adjustments, the X's and O's of the adjustments, excuse me, is Terrell Austin, because Tomlin doesn't have that enough time to be in every meeting room, that meeting room 40 hours a week. He's got to be other places within the team. So I put more of that on Terrell Austin.
If I was Tomlin right now, I would really, really, really be thinking about, like, look, Art, I know you don't like to pay these dudes, if they ain't on this, but I gotta take over this defense, man. You gotta let me. I gotta do. Look, this is my my reputation's on the line too. They already they've been talking about me since 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my point is, like, if you see that as a blatant, and I feel like this is a pattern with Coach Austin too, right? When adjustments are made to a certain degree, and it's the communication, it's the green dot. So somebody's in his ear way too late. Like they saying, wait, you know what I mean? I know it gets cut off, but it's probably a whole bunch of jarbled mess sometimes in that thing, because you look at what if you watch Patrick Queen get the calls out, it's a hot mess. I saw him in Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson basically gave one of these. Was like, I don't know what you said, bro. I don't know what we're doing. Just so that's a problem, and I think that that is 1,000% on the defensive coordinator, or whoever is communicating to the green dot.
Yep. So this is the one that I was talking about earlier, right? So what this is, I believe this is Chuck Clark, or I'm sorry, Thornhill. This is what Trey Essex had posted. Right there, that's where he was lined up. Watch, he's lined up as the free safety, the deep safety. Like, where's he going?
I don't understand. I don't run that back. I'm trying to get some semblance of what at all.
Now, if you're doing no, here's I got the question of what's he doing, and I may have an idea of what he's doing, and if it's what I think is, it's piss poor design.
Yeah.
Because look, is he trying to take the under from there? Because look, you got another guy that rotated here to take his spot.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a rotation, but the problem is that rotation from the initial deep safety spot takes up way too much time. Because you can still throw that on the line. I mean, look, you have all of this room right here to just
Jordan Love.
put a little bit of air in the ball, and it's wide open.
Jordan Love too, bro. He got options too.
Exactly. It's
Good
Jordan
Lord.
Love. And then if you're doing that, he's way too deep.
You know, it's even worse.
He should know that he has a guy coming over here for the deep third. He should be able to play up more.
Yes.
I mean, look
He went
how far off he went.
He went from way too deep to way too shallow. Like, make that make sense, bro.
Yeah, make that make sense. It's like, Jesus,
That's
what are
terrible.
you doing?
That's terrible. And the understanding is that they're trying to bracket, right? It looks like that's what it looks like. It looks like they're trying to bracket the receiver, right? It's just you got him going from punt return freaking distance. He's not Troy. Again, he ain't coming down. He ain't flying down like that. Even if that is in fact the design, and I can see that being a concept. Like, we're gonna try to make you think that we over here, but we want. I get it, right? But it's not the execution is awful. It's way too soft. You get some Viagra for that.
This is comedy. I'm sorry.
Wait, that happened in real life?
Yeah, remember that deep pass? No, that's that deep pass he threw. That's Mr. Thorny. That's Mr. Thorny, bro. I believe I can fly.
You know what? AI is so crazy nowadays. I thought that was AI, man.
No.
I'm like, man, what you do? You done Photoshop these sideways, man.
Yeah, exactly. They just photo some guy jumping up straight and just Photoshop them sideways. No, man. That was terrible, by the way, but it is what it is.
You got the whole play?
What's that?
You got the whole play to that? Because that's hilarious.
I don't know if I want to show it. I don't think I do. That's
hilarious, bro.
All right, so going back to this real quick. Would you be inclined to make a move with Terrell Austin mid-season?
Yes.
Okay.
Without hesitation.
Do you think?
And this isn't.
I want to look up something, but please explain yourself.
Sure. And let me say, I was not one of those. We made a mistake by not taking Flores. Like, I wasn't one of those guys. Mike did Brian a solid, right? It kind of just happened.
Yeah.
Right. And then he knew that if he had an opportunity to go, he was going to go. Like, so he did. The end. They had one already in place, and there wasn't. Again, like, everybody gets all upset almost game to game when it comes to sometimes the DCs, and I always look at, I kind of know what to expect with the defenses that they have too. Like, and I've said this early. I was like, I don't think they're going to be one of the greater, statistically speaking, guys, right? But I do believe they're going to be one of the most opportunistic defenses out there, with full of splash. And that's the issue. When this defense lacks splash, it gets exposed big time.
Correct.
And that's what the issue is right now. And that's, how much number 90 making? I don't care if he's getting chipped or not. Look, all I know is, in a loss, I'm gonna throw it right back at him, right? All I know is, in a loss, Mr. Miles Garrett had 5 sacks. That's all I know. He was still a terror.
He was beasting. Yeah,
that's all I know, Mr. Number 90.
Hey, we're gonna bring Max and come on back here. But listen, I'll take the offensive side. GB can definitely take the defensive side.
Oh, hell no! We're doing that. That's a guru, bro. What you talking about, Willis?
Man, I got dibs, bro.
No, man, we can run that together. We'll
but you know what, Max? You know what? If we're doing the offense,
game coordinator. There you
we're
go.
doing the offense. I'm telling you so right now. We'll find some dogs out there on the defense, man. There's no doubt. Did you see Debo, the way he went off on Hayden and their little podcast, to the point like he was like, Hayden was telling him, like, it's okay, things will happen. He's like, you come from a factory of losers. And Hayden was just like, well, damn, man, I'm trying to help you out.
Hey,
Debo was just
bro.
going off on him, but
Hey, bro. Debo is like, y'all embarrassed me on television. You
yeah,
see, he and T.J. Watt was, it looked like I thought Watt was about to do something. Debo out here, he gonna, have a game. You see Debo give him a little bit more juice. Nope, he's still running like he got a bad hip.
yep,
Imagine that.
yeah. So no, I don't know like who if you guys were to get and Mike, I agree that this was down on that 2-point conversion. They only had 10 men on there on the field, and that's what Dobbs was just like so wide open. Again, the miscommunication. I don't understand this. This is 100. This is on coaching as well. When this kind of stuff is
Terrible
coaching,
communication.
it's terrible. There is way too many things happening right now that should not be happening. That maybe happened in the first preseason game, second preseason game, not in week 6, 7, 8. Where they're not knowing where to line up, or they've got 3 guys over here. You got a free safety buzzing down to cover the flat. I mean, that kind of stuff is just dumb.
Yeah.
It's not smart football. It puts guys out of position, and then when it puts them in a position, they don't even know what they're doing anyway. And it's taking great players and making them look bad.
The crazy part is that the first half was pretty damn good.
It was very good. I was
And
actually
then
quite
the second
encouraged.
half was pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
The best of times and the worst of times. Still 2 cities.
Yeah, so this was basically agree. I don't think he's getting fired as well. I'm hoping he will, because here's what I'm looking at. If you're going to get rid of Terrell Austin right now, who on the staff is going to call the defensive schemes or the defensive plays? Or would Tomlin
Mike,
take over the defensive play calling?
like I said, if I was
The only
Mike,
guy I'm looking
it's
at
about
this, and this is also a thing with Tomlin as well, with the
yep.
assistant coaches, right? I don't know if I trust any of these guys outside of Carl Dunbar. Maybe he's not a DC. He's one hell of a D-line coach.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a DC. So it would have to be Coach T that would take over the play calling.
That's what I'm thinking, because again, I'm like, look, they talk, he messing up my whole legacy right now. Like that would be what I would go in and talk to Art about if I was Mike, because Terrell is really not doing a good job, and he did it with Matt. I mean, they had to pull the reins away from him, and that was that. But I'm going to say this though, that it's also an indictment on 2 things. It's an indictment on, and we've talked about this. Everybody wants to blame Mike for the assistants, okay? But Mike gets a budget, an allotment of what he can get. The Roonies are very Bob Nutting-ish when it comes to paying their assistants. Y'all don't want to think that I'm sorry, Yens don't want to think that that's a real thing, but it is a real thing. I listen. I have. I told you the story, Dudek, about
Yeah.
my man. My man. I have a neighbor
And
who
so, yeah,
whose
tell for everybody else
brother.
who's watching.
I have a neighbor whose brother was a wide receiver coach for another team. He ain't gonna put his business out there. And he's a former Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm gonna leave it at that. I was talking to his brother. I said, "Hey, this is when Canada got fired." I was like, "Hey, such and such, considering." The OC position, they gonna call him up, and he was like, "Man, GB, he ain't going over there." He's like, "They don't pay nobody. They make more money up there than they do over here. Than he would do over there." So I was like, "Oh, enough said."
Yep. And then, like I said, I
Enjoy
was
your walk.
referencing last year there was a Charlie Batch was on a
Yeah,
Steelers post game, and this was in the midst of the Matt Canada debacle. So I guess this was a couple years ago. Excuse me. He basically came out and said that the Roonies don't like paying coaches on the couch, so they won't make the change. So if fans are going to say Mike Tomlin won't make the move, how do you know that he doesn't want to make the move? I'm not saying he does or he doesn't. He may go to Tomlin and say, you know what, no, we're good. We're not making a move. I'm not saying that, but there is now evidence that, well, one, everybody heard, if you listen to one of the post games with Charlie Batch, what GB was telling about with a friend who has personal connections to the Steelers, they're saying the same thing. How many times have the Steelers gotten bad reviews on their facilities?
I mean,
You think Tomlin's
Hello?
paying for those?
Nope.
We've talked about it, a while ago. Is the broken way the Steeler way, and not necessarily a Tomlin thing? Now, good. Tomlin deserves a shitload of blame and criticism. Don't get that twisted. But I think this is actually bigger, and I think we might be the only ones saying this.
It's bigger than the coach, in my
It's bigger
opinion.
than Mike Tomlin. And I'm not using any scapegoat for him whatsoever, because this year has been absolutely putrid. 4 games of 30-plus points. But again, it's like going real quick, we get in here. It's like, hey, I'm going to go Christmas shopping for my kids, and I'm going to go into Five Below. You're going to get presents, but you really going to get quality. And I think that's something you might be working with a shorthanded system as far as like the coaches. You know what I mean?
And my point is, this is why I back Coach Tomlin so daggone much, because I'm trying to tell you, be careful what you wish for. Because in this new era of football, where there are 1,000 different assistants and scouts and stuff, they still keep it small and compact. With the mega facilities and everything out here to keep everything, great and fresh for the players. It ain't that in Acrisure, y'all. Like, that's just the reality. So it's I know that people want to go at Tomlin's head, and you have a right to, because he's the head. Like, I get
Yeah.
it,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to understand he's also working within the confines. Maybe he's the one keeping it all together. Have you ever thought of that? I mean, I'm telling you, because it's again, it's been a long time since 2006. It's a whole different game back then. You know what I mean? Whole different type. I mean, they changed the rules on the Steelers, by the way. Can we talk about that? They changed the rules on us because we was hitting people too hard. It's like they knocking people out. They taking socks. Like, we cannot have them do that no more. Ryan Clark was notorious for taking somebody's head off. Right? We can't do that no more. So it's a whole different game. Now, from a standpoint, has the game maybe passed up Mike Tomlin a little bit? Yeah, I could say that,
I think
because
so.
maybe those coverages that they like to run, they used to be able to blow you up. They can't blow you up no more. They be trying to try to do their best to not blow you up, so they don't get flagged and all that. That's crazy. But I just think that it may be, I love that dude, but I think that I don't think that the standard is what the standard used to be, and right now the standard is slightly above average as it
Yeah. I
sits.
mean, I do think some schematics have probably passed them by a bit, just with some of those coverages that we were just showing you, right? I just don't think it works. Some of that stuff doesn't work no more because people have seen it enough. They've seen the Steelers scheme. Back in the Cowher days, if you remember, that we had the privilege and it being one of 4 defenses in the league. So it
Yes,
wasn't seen a lot. So therefore, those defenses were a lot more effective.
and then
Nowadays,
2002
the
happened.
defense that the Steelers run, a 2-4-5 base. I mean, the 3-4 is dead. The 2-4-5 base
Yeah,
is pretty much your base packages. And the fact that they don't switch up their coverages enough to where I think that, the stubbornness of not getting too high, too low, keeping, the stick. That has actually, as much as that's helped Tomlin and the Steelers in over the years, I think now that's what's hurting them.
hmm
That they're not. I mean, granted, I can't stand when somebody says that he never makes adjustments. Like, never, like not one adjustment.
that's
And
not
some of these
true.
guys wouldn't know what an adjustment was if it smacked them in the face. But there are times where they don't make adjustments, especially in like these 2-minute drills or these, like with Cincinnati, they're trying to hold them from getting to a field goal. They showed that same hook to flat route the Bengals ran. They darn near ran it 3 or 4 times in a row
Yeah,
and completed them all, just the different receivers in the progression. Steelers were in the same coverage. That's what's frustrating.
Yes.
That's where a change needs to happen. Now, it could be as simple as actually changing the coverage, or if you have a play caller in Terrell Austin on defense that's not changing it up, then yeah, that's on Mike Tomlin to tell him to change it up.
Change it up.
And then if he doesn't change it up, you got to get rid of him. And I bring Mike's comment back up. No fire in week 8 while in first place. I don't know who that falls on, Mike.
Everybody.
It's every. What I mean is, like, is that Tomlin or is that the Rooney saying no way? Because again, Tomlin's not the one paying these guys.
Yeah.
Does he want him gone? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's the one defending him to keep him, and that's a bigger issue. None of us know. And that's what's the frustrating part. You got communication issues, same coverages, players doing their own thing. Now you got players coming out saying that there's not enough effort out there. You got video evidence that the fans can clearly see that there's not enough effort out there. I'm not coming off my thing. If they don't win a playoff game this year, I'm in favor of cleaning house. Because you also can get rid of a lot of contracts too.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of you got to if you're ever going to take a year, I want to bring Mark's comment back up. This is if you're ever going to make a change for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if things were to go south. GB, remember you and I were both saying the Steelers are going to have their cake and eat it too this year, where they're going all in.
Yeah.
And to go win a playoff game or possibly a chip. And if it goes south, they got 12 draft picks next year hosting the draft.
Yeah.
If there ever was a year to switch it up, this could be the year. However, to be careful what you wish for, because when you bring in a new coach, he's going to have his own system, who's going to have his own players, and you're going to be dumping a lot, which people may want, but you're going to have a whole lot of players contractually that are going to be here that may not fit that system, that are not going to perform very well. Which that means is, are you ready for a 4-13 type year? If you think it's bad now,
we're still winning.
We're still winning. And I got a funny question. And I want to get to take some of the comments here. If a coach comes in next year and wins, does he win with Tomlin's players? Riddle me that, Batman.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, he won with Tomlin's players. See, it's because he ain't no coach. He wasn't the right coach. So I remember when when Mike Tomlin took over Bill Cowher's team and they were a whole 8-8, but that's another story. For another day.
And I have a picture of the one tackle here that if it didn't happen, he'd have 0 Super Bowls. Anyway, but yeah, you're right, Ryan. We were just talking about that earlier, Ryan. Thanks for joining, bud. Yeah, someone's always confused or there's a miscommunication, and it's repetitive. I think we've now said it like 3 times already. It is repetitive. And I don't know where the Steelers go from here, because they got one hell of a football team coming in here on Sunday. I don't know, man. I mean, but you know what, though? It's the type of game that Tomlin and the Steelers would end up winning, because it makes no sense.
I thought the same thing about Green Bay, because I thought we had no business winning that game to begin with, because I was like, man, they're loaded,
Yeah.
And that was one of the games I had as an L, to be quite honest with you. Like, I didn't think they were going to – I didn't think – because I have a whole, like – especially when they added Micah Parsons, I was like, okay, that team's probably going to go to Super Bowl. They are very good. I want to make that very, very, very clear that the Green Bay Packers are very good. Okay. And it would not surprise me one bit if they went deep into the playoffs and they were further along than the Detroit Lions were this year. Their defense is outstanding. Like that Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons is so crazy. And let me also add that the fact that it wasn't Micah Parsons on the edge that was the problem. It was Micah Parsons coming up the middle that was a problem. They literally had three guys do that. They had three guys. And then Micah would just pick a gap. There's nothing they could
He
do.
started Mike. Yeah, he started back like playing a middle linebacker, and he would just start
Yeah.
walking up and then pick a gap. Exactly.
And then I'm like, well, how come
So,
they don't let TJ do that? Because TJ got bad hips. He don't run like Micah.
hey,
Period.
you know what? So guys, let me sum this up here, and I want to get to a few positive things here. Agree that we believe something needs to happen with Terrell Austin, right? And GB, if you don't agree with any of this, I'm going by our conversation here. Please butt in. Whether it's maybe if it's something as simple as strip duties or play calling duties from them. We've seen a lot of offensive head coaches do that to their OCs. They stay on staff, but they're going to take over the play calling. Maybe that's something that they do. I'm in favor of getting rid of them altogether. I don't ever want to see a man lose his job, but
Me
at
neither.
the same time, I mean, listen, he's going to be fine
I mean, if there's a
financially.
buyout clause, cry me a river.
Right. If there's a
You know what I'm
buyout clause,
saying?
exactly. I don't think you make any type of move with Mike Tomlin until the offseason. If this does go south and it's his first losing season, which oddly enough, I do think there's going to be a pocket of fans that'll be happy about that,
Weird.
which is weird.
Weirdos.
Then you make a move in the offseason. I think you do it rather quickly so you can get a new staff in here to form their strategy as you go after the draft picks. And I'm actually going to go look, maybe I'll look at this next week, or maybe even for Thursday's show, some of these contracts about some players who could possibly move on. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we're still in season, but
Yeah.
if people want to kind of start thinking about it, again, not just making the move, but thinking 2 and 3 layers deep on that. But the defense just needs to get simplified with I'm just tired of hearing the communication. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm not saying that they're lying, but I'm just tired of hearing about it. This is their job. And I don't understand. It's not just like, hey, we missed one call. We did one thing. This is happening 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game.
Yeah.
Maybe more. We just don't know about it.
Well, what are you practicing? If, if you're not practicing sure enough communication, what exactly are you practicing? If you're not tackling well, what exactly are you practicing? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Out there playing grab ass? What are we doing here?
Mr. Thomas says he could see fire Austin
Mr.
because you may
Tummy.
not get another offense this
I like
productive
that
in a
though.
while, but it removes a scapegoat for Tomlin, which is a DC is better and available. Okay.
Mr.
And we
Tummy.
followed up here, average points. Yeah, this 25 a game. Yeah, this is historically bad there, Mr. Tummy. 100% agree. Because GB and I have said and others, you give this team 24 to 27 points, this could be a 12 or 13 win team. That has not happened because I think we're maybe a smidge below that, like around that 24 or so points per game. But man, this defense is just giving up way.
That was
They've been
our whole
outsnapped, I think,
formula.
in all but one game.
And that was the crazy part because we never thought that would be the issue. We felt like they shored up, those issues with who they brought in and who they drafted, right? And who they drafted last year, right? I felt like that was everybody coming together. It was a recipe for to have a
Yeah.
really really good a solid defense. And if anybody thought otherwise, well then, as the great Andrew, well, not so great Andrew Filipponi says, congratulations on all your success because I did not see this happening. Sorry.
No, we did
They
not. And
call
like
me
I
as an
said, it's
optimist.
not
So what?
it's not isolated to the Green Bay game or the Cincinnati game.
No.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Jets game. I was like, okay, that's the first game. Let's see how it slows down. And it started to come down, especially as Harmon came back in. But then it's reared its ugly head again now the last two games. Now it's a trend. It is a problem, and until something is corrected, whether it's play calling or some type – you can't do a radical scheme change in the season, but I just think it's play calling, communication, and they have to execute. 100% have to execute on defense.
And ironically, they actually stopped Josh Jacobs.
They did.
That was the irony of it all. But then Jordan Love had 20 straight receptions. 20.
It's
2-0.
insane. It's insane. So let me give some flowers to some of these players, if you will. One of the guy that caught a lot of slack early in the year, and rightfully so, was Broderick Jones. I think here, and again, Tommy Jaggy, his Twitter account is very good
Love Tommy Jaggy's Twitter
with getting
account.
some film out there. Dude, we have to get a membership to the L22. We have to figure this out. But anyhow, watch some of these reps from Broderick on Micah Parsons. Okay, pinned him inside. That's a pretty good rep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you can see they're actually giving him help. So I can see Arthur Smith was doing his thing. Okay, almost held there, but did his job.
I like it.
He is slowly but surely improving.
Look at the foot. The footwork looks better.
The footwork looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
This is going against him and Myles Garrett. Used to be TJ.
Yeah.
Him and Myles Garrett, the premier rushers, and look what he's doing.
Very nice.
You got to give him good set. Oh, he lost one there. That's okay. You're going to lose him.
He had some help.
Yep, he had some help. Good set.
Yeah, he got his head.
Look at it. There, that's a real good rep right there.
Woo! I thought he was going to take him down. You know what, man? Micah Parsons, he's strong as shit too. You ever see his? You ever see him doing the sumo?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see him do that sumo wrestling with them dudes? He was doing that with the sumo wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, yeah, I gotta send you it. It's amazing.
Actually, I kind of stopped it on this one. Look at the way they're looking here.
Lord have mercy.
Wee! I
don't
know what he's doing there, but you know what? He's got skaters. Help. But he's got help.
Yes. Shout out to Spencer Anderson, man. Such an unsung hero on the offensive line right now. Came in for Sayamalu. Sayamalu got banged up. Spencer Anderson comes in. What was he? A 7th round pick a couple years ago. We had our eye on him because we liked what he was doing at center.
He had the versatility.
Yeah, and we liked what he was doing at center at first. He actually caught our attention there. But man, he's such a jack of all trades, man. I love it. I think they're doing Spencer Anderson in particular. I just want to give him his flowers because that dude has been playing his behind off, man. And he came in at guard. He caught a ball. He caught a.
he caught a ball. I did see that. That was great.
I was like, look at Spence.
So let's focus on, and I agree with Mr. Tummy on this, and I think a lot of us or not. We're pleasantly surprised with the offense. Right? What's that?
This is Mr. Tummy's first time? Welcome.
Yeah, it is Mr. Thanks for that, GB. Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Tummy. We appreciate you hanging out. Or if it's not your first time, your first comments, do really appreciate you hanging out with us here. So Valdez-Scantling is now a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
You and I were talking about a week or so ago about adding one Allen Lazard because of the familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. Well, Valdez-Scantling also has familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. This is, I believe, a low-key good signing. Because unfortunately right now, it seems like we're going to have to score more points and possess the ball more.
Man.
For this defense, which is another way you can help this team out. This is a big receiver who can be a down-the-field threat, but he is also the possession guy that is familiar with Aaron Rodgers. What do you think, or how do you think this will help the offense, and do you expect immediate dividends on the game Sunday versus the Colts? And I'd like to also pose that out to anybody here watching on there. What do you watching here? What do you think this Valdez-Scantling signing means?
So I've always, I've always been on record saying that any WR2 this year that you can get opposite of DK that has a decent amount of size or whatever, that can do that is a possession type of receiver. Is exactly what the Steelers need, because I think what that's going to do is that's going to open up Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin even that much more in the slot, right? Now you can run 4 receiver sets and feel good about it. Not, I mean, and this is no shade to throw towards Skoranek or any of those other guys. I'm just saying now you can run a legitimate, four receiver set and have some legitimate guys out there. You could do some things a little bit different than what you've been showing, right? So I just think it opens up the offensive playbook a little bit more, and I think we're going to need to be able to score points by any means necessary because I think now, we said 24-27. Shoot, we might be we might be 27-30 at this point in the season. So how can we get some more points? Because the defense. I mean, they might slightly improve, but I think this is where we're going. This is going to be the roller coaster ride we're going to be on for the next 10. Right. So how can we get to 30 now? it was 24. We got to get another 30 out of this, bro. So
Gotta get
hopefully
something.
so I think that the mixture of having Valdez Scantling out there on the outside, like I said, with the Roman, keeping them in the slot, I think that just makes it so much better. I really do. I think that's going to help his game, and he's showing flashes, guys. Oh, Jay Brown the chef, how come you ain't out here?
Hey, Brian, you should have been dialing in, brother.
Dial in.
Hey, so
What you cooking?
yes, I agree. And
Exactly.
actually, may I ask you? May I say this to Mr. Tummy and the others? Listen, as a former receiver myself, when the ball's in your hands, you catch it. The ball's in your realm, if you will. You go get it, or you make it income. You know what I mean? You go get it. I have now seen DK a few times, man. For as
Oh,
big as strong as he is,
he pissed me off
struggles with the
yesterday.
combat catches. And I'm sorry, as
Pissed
wide
me off.
receiver one, you gotta make those plays.
He pissed me off yesterday.
That
Mm.
touchdown he dropped, and you even heard Collinsworth say it. And I know people don't like Collinsworth, but he's also a former receiver, and he was right. As soon as DK on that got that inside leverage, that should have
Inside,
been
it should
touchdown.
be a tutty. I said
Especially
tutty.
for a man of his size and strength, that's a tutty.
Yes, that ain't
And
big. I
I
thought it was a
don't
tutty.
get it.
Yeah, I thought. Dude, I seen the ball go up. I seen he had inside bro. I was like, oh, he got this. Nope.
Yeah.
Shame on him.
So
And
I
he
also
was
think now,
frustrated the whole time too. And that penalty.
yeah, yeah.
I thought George Pickens went to Dallas, yo.
Listen, the one just fell off of the 14, and he got maybe he's doing some
Jesus.
curls.
Right.
So yeah, so Valdez is going to help too because he's going to command a little bit more coverage just from his size, and I do think it's
Yeah.
going to make uh, Austin and Wilson that much more effective. Those four receivers, I think, will be very,
Yes.
very effective. And obviously, you still have the tight ends to utilize. But this, I think, what's going to happen also too is you're going to just have to ask Arthur Smith to open up a little bit more. He
Yeah.
was playing ball control for the most part because the running game has been working. The running game has been working very, very well. Jalen Warren is playing very well in this system. I just think the problem with the offense is they get to that 2nd and 15, 3rd and 10 plus, they get behind the sticks. They just, for some reason, they just can't capitalize on those down the field throws. Except I know they had that long touchdown to Muth in Cincinnati on 3rd and 18, which seems to put them back, behind the sticks, if you will, and they struggle.
We are a very stay on schedule offense, meaning it has to be
On
second
schedule.
and third and medium. You understand? Like we're not built because you don't. And this is the thing that I was hoping, and it's showing that it's not really happening. This was the part that I was hoping that Justin Fields would get. He'd get a little bit better cerebral. But because he was a dual threat, I felt like that's what you need in this today and age NFL. You don't have to be the fastest guy in the world, but you have to have escapability and be
Yeah.
able to make plays. That's one of the reasons why Jordan Love ate us alive on some of those plays was because of his escapability. Not necessarily scrambling, but just getting out of harm's way and then just chucking it, right? And Aaron, don't get me wrong, he looks better, right? But there's a distinct difference between a 41-year-old who may still have some left versus a guy who can get out. Like, look, if you, I mean, I'll give you an example. Look at Mahomes, man. Mahomes, he's not. I mean, he'll run and scramble every now and again, but his stuff is all about escapability and getting the
Mm-hmm.
guys open on a scramble drill, man. It's old. It's
Yep.
almost like old Ben stuff, like you know, I mean, for real, for real. It's almost it's like that, you know, just boom and it works. But Aaron's just not that guy anymore, you
Yeah.
know, just
Hey,
not.
what better? Listen, we moved on. Like JB said, we're still upset about the loss. It's the Steelers. We want them to win every week, but the Steelers don't run our lives, if you will. We're diehard fans. We'll watch
No.
every game, and I'm saying this to set this up. You also got to laugh at some of the stuff on the Twitters and some of the jokes. And if there's ever you know what, maybe we should start something different on this, GB and Jay Brown. Whenever you're back on, man, it's like the whole segment of who did this
Yeah,
and
because
who
that
did
one
this.
AI had me cracking up. See,
See
see,
who did this, man.
that's cold blooded, man. Why y'all do
Why
Darius Slay like
they do
that?
this to Slay, man?
Damn.
Who did
Look at
this,
his
man?
legs.
And first off,
Look at
that's
his
it.
legs.
They took it from. Is that the game in New England where he was running the fumble back? Because that
It
looks
might
like
be, man. Jesus.
who did this, man? Come on.
Damn.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm, mm.
Who did this? So, all right. So to wrap some of this up here, maybe hit a couple more topics, and then we just so you guys know, we'll be back on Thursday night. Um, talking about we'll talk about the Colts, maybe some other things that have come up in the week. Hit up on some other topics as well. What do you think is reasonable?
Hmm.
I mean, what? No, I think the back-to-back weeks were a three-point underdog at home, which
Mm.
happens, right? It goes. Every team kind of goes through this. We just didn't expect it to be this year. What do you think is a reasonable expectation for Indy? Because I'm going to tell you something. Even though Indy's been very impressive, and they have been,
Yeah.
they the teams are beaten up as like Tennessee and Miami and other things like that.
Hmm.
What do you think? Or do you think this is got to be the week that they turn it around? Even if it's not a W, you just see a different Steelers team, maybe a team that we thought we would see.
Yes. And I thought honestly that we were going to see that on Sunday to a certain degree, um, given the confines of the season, not from my season predicted what I predicted them to lose. I was just talking about them bouncing back from Cincy. But I was looking at I think it's even more so because I was looking at their schedule. And when you look at the schedule thereafter, you know, um, it doesn't get any easier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking. I think well, you got Buffalo in there. You got
Well, the next three, what Indy,
Indy,
Chargers, then you get the Bengals again,
Chargers, Bengals, Buffalo, Bears.
Buffalo, Bears.
Yeah, yeah.
Ouch.
So it's not easy, right? And then you still got the Ravens twice. Okay, so there's some.
Yeah, Dolphins are in there. Hey,
Mm,
what's slipping away. GB was our wish list for Tomlin to break Chuck Noll's win record against the Dolphins on the
man,
Monday night. I think that's kind of going out the window now.
I know, man. I know. Out here killing us, man. Killing me, Smalls.
So I wanted to do that just to see what the fans' reaction would be if when he passes. Well, if now, but when he would pass Chuck Knowles the most wins in team history.
I mean, this would be a good time for them to. I'm not gonna. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna. I'm obviously not gonna panic. I haven't panicked. I got emotional yesterday, but I'm not
Oh, I
gonna
forgot they
panic.
got the Lions too, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it from a standpoint. Let's see what happens these next 3 weeks, right? Within the
Mm-hmm.
binary system, because when you got 10 in, that's gonna give you a good understanding where you're at. And 6-4, 7-3 would be very nice. 5-5, not so much, because
Mm-hmm.
that could be that the Ravens might be 5-5 at that point. You know,
Come on, Mike. It's not getting that bad, man.
that ain't that. It ain't that
It's not
serious,
bad.
Mike. It ain't that serious, bro. It really ain't. You know. Hey, if you want to
Hey,
come,
you know what?
hey, you know what though? I'll give you an open invitation for a championship team. Y'all come out here on Friday nights and come watch the Abworth Antelopes. You come watch. You want to watch some dominating, devastating W's on some teams and some complete domination and some great coaching and some great. You come on there. Y'all saw them. You saw they got a little glimpse on. Shout out to the Lopes. They got a little Sunday night football love. You come on and hang out. You come see some real football, man. Hey, them boys is
Mm-hmm.
balling.
Yep. Mr.
Nah, they
Tummy,
ain't
I
going
really
8-9,
can't argue
bro.
with that the way they're playing right now.
They ain't
I'd
going
like to
8-9.
think that
No.
the Bengals, I like to think they would get that game, but I get it. Lions is that's a that's a tough one. Colts and Chargers, we'll see. At least some of those games are at home. And my man's got some perspective. I'm going to highlight you, Mr. Tummy, with the comments. I appreciate you. Yeah, at least we're not Jet fans
Jets fans.
or Browns fans. Let's put it that way.
Listen.
Hey, listen, I want to give 2 seconds a shout out, and I don't know how many Pitt guys are in here. And this is a non-football, but I want to give a shout out because something's happened special in Oakland right now.
Yes. Number 4, baby.
They just signed another top 50 player for the next year's class. Not this year, but for next year. It's shaping up to be something special. If you like hoops, it's about time that this man gets some players. They got a great AD down there now, so at least I can't wait. I can't wait to watch some Pitt
What they
basketball.
say? What Harry say? Harry said all they need is to get 2 more, and they'll have a Fab 5, because that's 3 in the top 100.
Mm-hmm. Mark, you are
Yeah.
correct. That was Avonworth on
Yeah,
Sunday
it
Night
was
Football.
Worth. So
100%.
funny thing. I saw something on Twitter that showed like a camera crew was
Okay.
at the game. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I didn't even know there was anybody even at the game other than social media people
Okay.
or whatever, because it wasn't a national. It wasn't a it wasn't a televised game or anything. But somebody had something on Twitter. So I was asking some questions, and they said, "Yeah, I think that's going to happen." So I had a feeling it was going to happen. I gave you guys the heads up, right? And then, sure enough, it popped up. So that number 6 on that long pass, that was Dudek. That was my quarterback from the Eagles, Jaden Jones. Man, he out here
Oh,
dominating.
is that right?
He's going to yeah, he's going to Florida. He's going to go visit Florida State this weekend, and he got his first offer from West Virginia this past weekend. 6'3",
Congratulations to him.
180. Yeah, 6'3", 180, class of 28. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, you're right, Mike, and that's why I think it's not because look, and you know how a lot of the fan base is, and we all get trapped into it, right? Especially beginning of the year. It happened this year, right? 1-0. I saw all the Steelers Packers Super Bowl memes going around. Then the Steelers go 1-1, and now they're going 2-15. It's that
Yeah,
roller coaster.
roller coaster.
And I could see what Mike was saying on this. If they actually go back and they beat the Colts this week, and let's say if they win, even if it's like 24-10 or 31-10, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying hypothetically, the mood in this town is going to change again.
I want to see them win just for that purpose alone. They're like, we're so back.
We are so back. It's going to change again, and
Meanwhile, they want to
it's just
jump
the
off
ebb and
the
flow of a fan
Clemente
base, man.
Bridge this week. They'll be like, we're back on it. Back to the Super Bowl. Let's
That's what
go.
man. Listen, that's what makes Steeler Nation great. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love DNC.
It's like this all year round. Even if there's an off season, you run into somebody like on middle of February. You know what I mean? And are long out of the playoffs, whatever. Man, people are still yapping about it. And that's what I love about this fan base. Living in Florida for a while and not being in Pittsburgh, and you run into Steeler fans. I've always said this about the Steeler fans. When I lived in Florida, you go and you kind of like pass somebody and you see a jersey and you see something like that, you kind of do one of these like that. You can tell if somebody is from Pittsburgh because they stop and tell you why they got that player's jersey, where they got that player's jersey, because that's stupid. Where they got that player's jersey, yeah. And if it was on sale, all that stuff. If there's somebody that just living in Florida and never lived in Pittsburgh, or maybe just picked up the team, those like nice jersey, yeah, thanks. Like, all right, well, they're not from Pittsburgh, or they're just so far removed that they just don't care anymore. There's like, yeah, thank you. But man, when you're from here and you're part of Steeler Nation, man, you give somebody a story on where that shirt came from and how you got it. Was it if it was a throwback, was that your dad's shirt, something like that? And that's what I appreciate about Steeler Nation,
You know
man.
what?
Even though
This was not part of the show, but it just came to my head. Everybody's sitting here crushing Mike Tomlin, crushing the team, crushing the owners. Well, you know what? I want to crush all the capitalist yinzers who have season tickets that sold their tickets to all the Green Bay fans. Let's talk about that, huh? Y'all were talking about, it was 45% Green Bay fans, and I was at the worst game couple years ago against San Francisco, and it felt like we was in San Francisco. So don't
yeah,
be out here talking about the coach and the players and everything. If y'all out here trying to make a buck on, be out here trying to 3x the you know what I'm saying? Thank you, George. You know what I'm talking about. You out here trying to
absolutely.
3x your money, over here selling tickets for $500-$600 a pop to these Green Bay dudes. That's what y'all get. That's what you get.
Yeah, and exactly. And then you got all these, and you had all these other like people on there, and I know some of the other podcasters here, that are very big in Pittsburgh, and they do like reviews from the stadium, walk out of the stadium, how embarrassed they
Yeah,
were that this and
that's
that. Which
terrible.
I'm not saying that they weren't embarrassed or that or whatever. First off, I don't know why the word embarrassed is not whatever that you felt that certain way, but you shouldn't be saying that. We should just be like GB just did, yell at the fans for selling the tickets.
Yeah, yell at
It's not like
you.
somebody. It's not like somebody went down to Kogo's and bought some Steelers tickets, or went online because they're so readily available. Steeler fans sold the tickets to Green Bay
To
fans,
the enemy.
to the enemy.
Made us had
So
to
if
go
you're
on a
upset at
silent count
anybody,
because
be upset
we
at your
couldn't hear
fellow
couldn't
fans.
hear nothing. Couldn't hear nothing. They said to go on a silent count because it was that loud. With Green, I heard "Go Pack Go" on television.
Multiple times.
That's terrible. Do better
Because
or
I'm gonna tell
sell
you
your
something.
seats. There's a big
I'm gonna tell you
waiting
something.
list. Still a big waiting list. Sell your
Yeah,
daggone seats if you don't want to be there. For real, sell them.
I was
But
part
don't
of
sell
one
them.
of those
But don't
games.
sell them to the. Don't sell the tickets to the daggone to the
No,
enemy.
some
What's
of the
wrong
other
with
people
y'all?
that want to go to the game from that are from Pittsburgh, or Steeler fans that want to go from out of town or something.
Shout out to Coach Larry York to be selling us tickets at face value. Thank you, sir. You know what I'm saying? Real American.
I was part of one of those games. What was that one beer commercial? Real American Heroes, like it was one of those Bud Light
Yes,
commercials a while
yes,
ago.
yes, yes.
So funny story about that. I was actually part of one of those games a few years ago during Ben's suspension again in Tampa Bay. If y'all remember, that was
Ooh,
the game that Brett Kiesel ran that 38 or he ran that 80-yard touchdown back on an
yeah.
interception and won like 38-10. I was at the game, and I think you and Juan were texting each other because that's when I was living in Florida. I just drove over to Tampa. Shout out to Chris Sopko if you're watching, brother. You hooked me up with some tickets, old high school buddy. We went over the game, and Josh Freeman was doing one of these, and it
Mm-hmm.
was getting louder. And one of you guys were texting, is like, "Is it really that loud in the game?" Like, yes, it was. And I have a picture here in my basement from that. I am not lying. It was like 80% Steeler fans. If you didn't see palm trees and a big ass pirate ship, you thought you were at
Yeah,
Heinz Field. I
yeah,
mean, so we know what that's like now. You know, listen, I mean, it was already said earlier. It just sucks. Our boy Mark say it sucks when it just happens to the Steelers, and
yeah,
unfortunately, it is right now. But they
yeah.
can't turn it around. They got that tough road ahead. And 1 second here.
They still
You know
travel
what? You
well.
know what? You know what, Mike? I think you're probably right on this, man. I think a lot of Packers fans were probably did that in last chance seeing Aaron Rodgers play. Um,
Well, I can tell you, Mr. Bradshaw, that I was at that San Francisco 49ers game back when Kenny Pickett was here, and we had all them high hopes in the opening season, and it was worse than the Packers game. There was a sea of red everywhere. I was so mad at that game. I was so heated for so many reasons. I mean, other than the play, it was the fact that, dude, I've never seen a team take over our stadium like that ever in my entire life. It was so bad, so bad. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if it's a one-off, but it might be. It could be an anomaly. It's possible, but
yeah.
mm, that
Well,
was
hey,
oof.
listen, like, it happens to everybody, and I know there's stadiums that I want to go to just to see the stadium, just
So
to
fire.
and it would be great to. And I don't want to go just to go to a game. I want to make sure the Steers are there. Um, listen, it's bad right now, but let's just I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't even put my thumbs up, and I got another one of those thumb things again. Um, it was that one that Chappelle skit. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's it's gonna get off the rails already. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, let's as everyone's here is watching, man. Let's just calm down, regroup, man. Go home. Let's hug the families. Talk to your buddies. Let's just move on. We'll be back being fans again next Sunday. We'll be putting ourselves through this torture again. But I hope you guys could come back and join us on Thursday night, same time, GB and I, and hopefully some others, depending on everyone's schedule permitting, to talk about the Colts, other things that's going on in the NFL, college as well. But before we get out of here, GB, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us, sir?
Yes, sir. You can find your boy GB at your underscore boy underscore
Boy.
GB on the YouTubes and the Instagrams, or you can find me at GB the Uppity Yinzer on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all the other socials out there.
All them socials and that.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, did you see the cup I was drinking out of today?
Ah, there we go.
Ah, shout out. Hey, bro, nobody want to see your big old man bun? It was a man bun shadow. You look at that, just a shadow.
I do look at.
Nobody
I do see
sees you,
it.
dude. I just see your shadow. But all they're seeing is your head. You want to come in? That's security. That's my security. I'm a big dude. That's my
That's it.
security guard.
No, man, that's great, man. So yeah, and GB, tell them about your YouTube channel, brother.
Yeah, man. So tomorrow we'll be back on. Apparently we had some people who enjoyed growing up brown, so we're gonna come back on with more shenanigans tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we will be live at 8:30 p.m. on the YouTubes and the Twitters and all the other socials. Just get ready because you just never know what's going to come out of my mouth with my brothers, AJ and Jay Brown, the chef. It is always, always a great time. You like to go back and think about growing up as a kid back in the day. I'm not, that type of stuff. That's exactly the vibe you're going to get while we laugh, love, and enjoy, you know, the good times of the 80s and 90s growing up brown. Yes.
Yes, yes. And one plug here, obviously, Dudek, you could. And by the way, I didn't grow up as a Brown, but I grew up with the Browns, and I'm gonna tell you, they're entertaining to listen.
He'll be on there soon. We'll have
They're,
a
they're
whole
very
lot
entertaining to listen to. Listen, all three guys, I'm very blessed to call them my friends who grew up with them. They're great, great guys, and definitely the shenanigans run deep within all three of those, as well. So,
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
obviously, check out the Bird Cave. And by the way, if you haven't already, please, if you enjoyed our conversation tonight, please like and subscribe or throw a comment in there, even if the comment is you guys are full of crap, whatever it is, just to help us grow our channel because we got some big things that GB and I and others, want to do. And the only way we can do that is by helping the channel grow. We really, really, every time we're on here, we see our audience growing every week, and the
Yeah.
number keeps growing, so no one's leaving. So thank you. We really, really appreciate everybody hanging out. We would not be doing this show is if we hadn't heard from everybody saying, hey, we like how you guys just sit here and talk ball. It's like we're sitting at the local bar, which is what the whole idea was. And
Yeah.
the brewskis and everything. So if you guys want to continue hanging out with us, it's real simple. Just do a like, subscribe to our channel, post it, share it out to help the channel grow. We really, really appreciate it. And so you got the Bird Cave on the Twitters, obviously the YouTube channel. We have the Facebook group. It may start the TikTok thing. I might have to have my daughters show me how to do that. We'll figure that out. But obviously, we do the football talk, the beer reviews. We really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And one other shameless plug, we did this a couple weeks ago, and I just want to give a plug to our conversation with our coach, Coach A from high school, on the YouTube. If you go on our YouTube page and go under Man Cave Conversations, really, really great conversation. Shout out to Paduti Podcast Theater in Toronto, PA. Really good football stories that we have from here. And you don't have to go to our high school to know what we're talking about, because they're just good stories. And if you guys want a good story,
show that Death Valley hanging tree. That's how we
Death
got
Valley
down.
hanging tree, which was our high school. This would not even come close.
Hey, bro, that looked like that
to
was
existing.
From like those were like 1957.
Look like we got like some leather helmets back in the day, bro.
Jesus.
Hey, this I'm 1 minute on this before we get out of here. So this is our high school. We were right outside of our field, and this tree, it says the Death Valley hanging tree. And Coach Kunselman right here, he was our equipment manager and coach, and he was also a woodworker. I don't know where this came from, and that's actually one thing I forgot to ask Coach A, and we're going to go back to this as well. This is our Coach A right here, and yours truly is like right here in the back. This was a year before, or 2 years before GB came on. You're still a youngin'. Every time we would beat somebody, he made these bodies, and we would put, you see the score on the legs. So every time we beat someone, we hung them in a tree.
Yes.
So as opponents come walking in, the front gate was right here, and they would have to walk past to the visiting side. They walked by the tree.
Yeah. Couldn't do it in 2025 because it would have a whole different meaning. Because I know what some people are already thinking. Like, y'all had black effigies up in a tree hanging, strung up on a tree. Yeah, we did. And there wasn't one racial overtone. If you look at the team, look at the daggone team.
Look at the daggone team.
Parents, everybody was all backing up the Death Valley hanging tree because it wasn't about that. It was about psychological warfare and what was going to go down when you came into our house. You was going up on the tree. You was next to go up on the tree because we about to whoop that ass. And it was one of the greatest. Like, that's the one thing I took from, and I gave Miss Flowers on the podcast. I was like, man, the having that vision and having that psychological warfare. He calls it the mystique. You wanted to have that mystique about your program, and that's the one thing I took that from him, man, and ran with it in in my little coaching time, because that's exactly what I believe in, is having that mystique, having that culture, having that buy-in, especially when you got talented dudes and you could just push them and prod them and instill discipline in them. You can get the very, very best out of them. Oh my gosh, man! I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man. That dude, oh. So good, man. He was and I owe so much to him for not just that, but just all the life lessons that that we had with him and everything, man. Just an absolute outstanding human being.
Absolutely. So it was a really great conversation. Like I said, it's on our YouTube page. You can see there's other conversations through here. Basketball conversation with the GOAT, Tommy Pipkin. So these are conversations that you don't necessarily, obviously you don't need to have gone to Gabe and I's high school. These are just great WIPIAL conversations, and they're great conversations about true brotherhood.
That part.
It's a community, and you'll see it's the same thing with the basketball, with no matter if it was 92 to 94, which were my years, or 95 to 98, which were more along with Gabe's years and others that, and I'll leave you with this. There was one of our teams called that went undefeated, the only undefeated team in our high school history. They had 30 players.
The Dirty 30.
Fox Chapel's out here asking for mercy rules with 49 players.
We had 30.
It's just different, man. It's just different.
But
Went
went
undefeated.
undefeated in 3A when there was only 4 classifications. Let's get that straight. Went undefeated with 30 players in 3A. You know what I'm saying? With
Mhm.
4 classifications. Them dudes was putting in work. That was the year. That was my freshman
Yeah.
year in Slippery
What's
Rock.
up, brother? How
I,
you
I
been?
came back
Hey,
for every game. Yeah, still
sorry you
Todd.
stopped in late, man. Kind of right at the tail end, man. Listen, we're gonna reach out to you, and we have to have you guys on here soon.
Yes, yes.
From met the fellas from the Steel Talk. They're a great group of guys. But listen, GB, I appreciate you hanging out. Again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Tune in and hang out with us again Thursday at 8:15. All the same places here, the YouTubes and the Twitters, as well as on millions.co. Until the next time, Steer Nation, it's going to be all right. We'll see
We're
you
gonna
guys on
be
the
all
next
right.
one.
Cider and Henny White is delicious. That's it.
Oktoberfest. Take care.